All right. Good evening, everyone. We will begin tonight's press conference with an opening statement from head coach Josh Wolff. Josh?
Yeah, I think it's a game we I think should have come away with 3 points. I wouldn't say we created as many good chances as I like, but we created enough chances. So we got to keep doing that. We're knocking on the door, and obviously you got to capture these moments. I think there's good opportunities there for us. The real positive is you pitch a shutout, and I think Brad made a couple saves. The back line did an extremely good job, I thought, throughout this game, competing and fighting, as did the entire group defensively. But I think again the ball falls to a number of guys, and we're not able to put the ball in the back of the net, whether it's Emmy, Diego, Maxi and Alex on the one that I'm still not sure how it doesn't go in. Seba and Giassi have a couple there in the second half, but it's proving elusive, and it can be frustrating, but this is what the game is. So we got to continue to get better. I think there were more positives there tonight. We gave it a little bit different structure, so that gave us a little more speed, a little more spacing to get forward quickly. But it can get a little bit more dicey in transition. But I thought we did well. Again, I thought we created enough chances to grab the 3 points, and unfortunately it's a 0-0 draw.
Eric?
Yeah, Josh, I agree. I thought there were some chances that in previous games and with players in different form and different confidence would have been taken advantage of. When you've got, it's one thing when a player is lacking confidence.
Yeah.
When the entire group, the entire attack seems to be lacking confidence in those moments with the opportunity to finish. How do you rectify that?
Well, we do finishing and training. We walk through how we're gonna. I think a big part of the way we play and the idea of what we want to create is giving clear pictures of how we can score goals. So I think that was there tonight. I think there was us getting around. I think you saw a different purpose of playing behind lines, arriving in the box in a really good way right from the get-go. I still think it's about getting around the edges, getting in line more often. There's all kinds of crosses. I believe in variety of the crosses, but we got a couple opportunities in transition as well. So yeah, I think I agree with you. If you've won 2 or 3 in a row, you probably take 2 or 3 of those chances and you run off with it. But when it's elusive, it's elusive. And whether it falls to Seba, Diego, Emmy, Giassi, Maxi, whoever. Right now, it's just proving elusive, and it's we got to keep moving forward though.
Yeah, and whenever there were stretches like this, especially last season, Seba would generally step up with 1 or 2 or 3 goals.
Yeah, that's right.
He seems to have come a little bit down to earth in these last few weeks. What are you seeing out of him, and what's his confidence
He's
level?
human, after all. He's human after all. I think he's doing anything and everything he can. Others again have to contribute. I think we saw a little bit of that at the end of last year as well. But he's still extremely talented, and a lot of the good things happen in and around him. But the opportunities are falling to a number of guys. We're not taking the opportunities. I think Emmy's inside the 6. Diego's 1-on-1. Alex and Maxi are, I think, inside, right next to the post. Giassi, can he do a little bit more close to inside the 6? So. Some shots from distance, but it's more about getting inside the box, in front of goal. So we got to keep working, clearly.
Phil?
Yes, you were talking about some formational differences. I mean, is Driussi playing higher having something to do with that? Seemed like he was parallel with Maxi for a lot of the start of the match.
No, I don't think so. I mean, I'd say his positioning, last year, this year, for me, are very much the same. He's in the pocket quite often. We move him from right to left at times, but he will have the freedom to move around. I think going low, going wide. The great thing I always say about Seba is wherever he goes to be part of an attack, he always arrives really well in the box. So, I'd say when we've adjusted a little bit of structure, the other structures that we've been in where we're fluid between 3-2 and 4-1, he doesn't need to come down. We're breaking lines quite easily. We're progressing attacks. We weren't arriving. Certainly the last couple games, putting balls behind the line, really challenging them. We weren't arriving that well in the box. So I thought that was much better tonight, and something we can build on.
Okay, and then got to ask about Diego. What's the prognosis?
Yeah, it's something in his. Certainly it's a groin injury of some sort. So we'll have to wait and see. But he hasn't missed a whole lot of time for us in the course of 2+ years, so we'll have to get the pictures and see what that looks like. We just got to deal with it.
Coach, I saw you watching at Austin FC too.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything, or have you think about taking any of those guys and maybe including it into your roster?
Of course. We signed some of those players. We go watch those games. Some of those players train with us. I think a number of them are doing quite well. I mean, there is big difference between the ATX2 games and the first team games. But what I like about those guys, we bring them into training and they have good understanding. I think that's the big part of it. They have the game model is mirrored. The instruction that Brett gives them, the detail that he works with is inside of what we've worked on with Nolan Sheldon, myself. We have good communication with those guys, and they're performing well. So those guys will continue to train with us. And times like this where we have some injuries, for sure those guys will come into the group. I think David has done really well. I think Val's been solid. Kip's getting good minutes, and again, I think that's really, really important for his growth and maturation. Damien's been extremely solid, so we're on it. We want to utilize every player we can, and obviously when there's opportunities, injuries, or schedule congestion coming up, we'll see how we can integrate them in training, and if they walk themselves into it and perform at a high level, they could certainly play with the first team.
Manny?
Coach, like you said, the goals seem elusive this
Yeah.
season, and that can get very frustrating at times. How do you keep a level head and just kind of keep things in perspective? There's still a lot of ball left to be played, and there's a lot of season and a lot can happen within that time. So, just how do you keep that level head and kind of pass that on to the rest of the squad?
Yeah, I think that's part of it. I think there is. You don't want to keep saying there's a lot of season. There's urgency. I mean, tying at home is not what we live on, and that's not what we're satisfied with. So that's a disappointing reality that we weren't able to grab 3 points here. But you stay level-headed because this is what it is. It's a long journey. There's going to be a lot of games coming. You have to navigate the ups and downs, some of the injuries. There'll be games throughout the year where maybe we nick a result that maybe we shouldn't have. So those things will be there along the course of a 10-month season. But we got to find ways to score goals. We work on it diligently. We've obviously created a decent amount of chances, and in these 7 games, I'd say, over the course of the 7, pretty good opportunities, minus the last game probably. But we got to stay committed to it, and obviously you want to see guys take their opportunity. Once the seal breaks for 1 or 2 of these guys, hopefully it lifts their momentum and their confidence, but the group's confidence.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Regarding Cascante, do you have a timeline on that? And Red, what's his name?
Alexander. We'll go with Alexander.
Yeah. How far is he from?
We call him
seeing the
Rado.
field? Rado, there you go.
Julio's been back in training, so he'll probably be in full, if not this week, more next week. But he's progressing well. He's been in a limited manner, part of our sessions the last week. Rado's been in the trainings. Obviously, we got to monitor him coming in from what he's been doing. He hasn't had a full slate of training leading up, so getting acclimated off the field. But we're hopeful. 2 good weeks of training. I think these guys need a couple real strong weeks of training where we're able to train all week. We get our basically our 11v11s on Wednesday or Thursday to really be able to push them in a way that we'll get them to a spot where they can get minutes. I don't know what those minutes will look like, but probably more not the end of April, but maybe the beginning of May. So that's what we're hopeful for.
So you still anticipate Ring center back?
For a little while. They're doing a great job. Leo and Alex are doing a very, very good job. Again, Leo was impressive tonight, dealing with the ball. Certainly the combativeness of the 2 strikers. A lot of balls played behind the line. And then with the ball, he's been quite strong. Both him and Alex the back line was extremely good, I thought, tonight.
Any other questions for Coach? Yeah, go ahead, Phil.
Yeah, I just wanted to get a little bit of comment on the fullbacks again. Gallagher and Lima. Obviously, Kolmanic is out, so a little less rotation that y'all have in that spot.
Yeah, I think so. But we do have, Hector is someone that can play either side. I think Nicky and Johnny are warriors. Obviously, Adam's more going to be geared to the left side, and we had a little change today, but something that most of our guys are quite familiar on. We had a little bit more of that structure last year, so we'll continue to have a little bit of fluidity in there. But I think we have 4 fullbacks, so in that space we're okay for the time being. But we'll have to see what the future holds if we can grab a player for one of those positions or somewhere else around the field.
All right, thank you very much. You can please follow Emily